Hey guys, Nananki here bringing you another Team Fortress 2 gameplay commentary. Today I'm playing as the engineer with the gunslinger using the Mini-Sentries on King of the Hill Harvest. And I was playing with two friends of mine, as a matter of fact, and we were all on the blue team, and a whole bunch of people rage quit off red, and you can see here red hasn't had a single second of the point in this round, and my friend Ad was like, you know, let's switch to the red team. They've got space, and as you maybe caught right as the video opened, somebody on red was saying our team is stupid small because there was a discrepancy of like at least 3 or 4 people. And Ad switched, and I told him, I was like, man, I've got like 11 revenge crits built up. I want to use these things up, but they weren't even getting out of their spawn, really. You know, I'm sitting here typing to people, and the scout still doesn't kill me. I'm like, you know, I think you're right, Ad. I think I may just switch without using up my revenge crits, much as I am loath to do so, because revenge crits are fun. I mean, you're essentially, you know, permanently crits-krieged, you know? So that's good stuff. But I switched over to red, so me and Galactic Hero... Yeah, I'm sorry. I will eventually manage to say his name in one take without screwing it up. Galactic President Superstar. I can't do it. Galactic President Superstar. It's not that hard. It's only 3 words. Galactic President Superstar. I guess I'm just spoiled because my other friend's name is Ad. A-D. Pretty easy to keep track of. And then you got my name, which is only slightly pronounceable. And I got bonked there, and I thought for sure that scout was going to get me, but the other scout on my team saved me. I was like, thank you, sir. Much appreciated. I frequently forget to build dispensers on this map because there's so much action going on at once, and I feel like I need every bit of metal I have to throw mini-sentries up at the drop of a hat, because they go down at the drop of a hat. I noticed that mini-sentry was in fact targeting my dispenser, but I didn't really have time to get it up and move it, and I thought I might have a chance there, but no such luck, because it was targeting other people, and my dispenser was already part of the way built. Right there I got stabbed by a spy who I assume jumped off the roof, which, you know, hey, that was a nice move. And unfortunately, though, Opacity, the scout here on the point, making a valiant attempt to try to hold it with just that little thumbnail of red on it, but alas, he was up against like 3 people and a pyro, and not doing much with a pyro in, you know, close quarters like that. So we lost that round. I'm soaked in milk and running in shame, doing the run of shame. But it's all good because the next round starts fresh. Me and Dad managed to get on the red team, but then it filled up, and unfortunately Galactic President Superstar was unable to get on red, so he's stuck on blue for this round. And I don't mind, you know, splitting the team up, so to speak, and, you know, playing against each other. In fact, that's probably the next thing I'll put up for commentary is after these rounds. We did get scrambled, and I ended up having a round against Ad and Superstar, and although I did not win the first round, I did win the second round. I was pretty happy about that. I was like, had my try-hard face on. I gotta beat these guys. But I'd say, honestly, it's a toss-up when we play against each other, as often as not. So, you know, they've got some spies on the opposing team, and generally when I see them, I call them out. But right here, I've got 1 revenge crit, and I'm heading around to the back of the point, and I'm like, excellent, back-turned, perfect, 180, every pellet landed. And I have 2 health here, and that scout, all he needed to do was shoot me, and then, you know, run up and kill the mini-sentry, ideally with, you know, a melee at that point, but he did not have the presence of mind to do so, or, you know, shoot me and then just get the hell out of there. And, you know, I ran to my death there because I thought I had time to get 3 rounds in my Frontier Justice, run up point-blank his mini-sentry as it was coming up, and then kill him, but he pulled out his pistol and shot me as I approached, and I had like 30-something health, so that was well played. And speaking of well played right here, I thought, you know, point-blank 3 shots with a shotgun sometimes kills a heavy, even if he's got full health, I feel like, and I went for it, and although I died, I did hold the point, and the teammate then came in and blew him to smithereens. So I was pretty happy about that, really. And here's the same heavy, and it's effectively the same thing happens, except I thought I left myself enough time to load that first round back and have 3 shots. As you saw, I only had 2, so I was killed pretty easily, you know. Engineer charging a heavy, like, what are you doing, Engi? Come on, give me a break. What do you think this is? But I can get away with that stuff, I swear, you know, and I get overconfident when I get away with that stuff, and I feel like I can get away with it over and over again. So I try. But we do capture the point back within, there you go, 48 seconds. So that's not too bad. That's, you know, we got still a healthy lead on him at least. Only, like, you know, 40 seconds right now, but increasing by the second. I'm trying to fight that scout. I was like, don't get the health, don't get the health. And he got the health, and I'm like, oh, he got the health. And the other scout came in and helped me finish him off anyway, so it was a moot point. What's that word mean anyway? Moot. Of no consequence, I suppose, would be the definition. And I'm trying to catch him out of the air there. Yeah, that's Galactic President Superstar. I can tell from his little green parrot. Even though there's a lot of people with the Birdman of Aberdeen, or whatever the heck the parrot's called now. It's one of the reasons I dyed mine purple, was just to have one that's a different color than the, you know, others, because almost everybody seems like they've got one now. Remember when they first started coming out of those crates, I was like, oh, cool, a parrot. Now everyone has one, and that doesn't make the parrot any less cool, but takes some of the shine off when there's a million of them. You know what I mean? Loses a little bit of that, you know, desirability when it's not sought after as much. You know how that works with collectible items. And yeah, I keep getting the health even though I only have like 5 damage and 4 damage. Just because if history's taught me one thing, it's to always have full health. I have had so many things happen to me in the world of, in my time with TF2 where I end up with 1 health or 2 health. Like just a little while ago, I survived that exchange with that scout with 2 health. If I had 148 health going into that, he'd have killed me, and probably killed my mini-sentry, and that would have been a completely different outcome. And my sentry's down once again, so I'm trying to put another one back up immediately. I think having them back up immediately, even if they're in kind of an obvious spot, at least that allows your teammates to attack the enemy when they're attacking your sentry, or, you know, a spy runs up and saps it. At least your teammates then were able to see, hey, that's a spy right there. Spy sniper just sapped that gun. He gives himself away without actually killing anyone, and I think that's a lot better to just lose a mini-sentry than to lose teammates. Mini-sentries are good, they're like little mini aimbots, but they don't have barely any health, they can't move. I mean, taking them out is pretty easy, avoiding them is even easier. And you know, I don't like the new Engi gun, the ray gun, that much, the Thompson 9000, or whatever the heck it's called, that guy's using. And I don't know why, but I was under the impression that gun couldn't crit, and later on in this round I get one-shotted by the Thompson, and I thought to myself immediately, like, holy shit, that thing just critted on me. I didn't know it could crit, that makes it a little bit better. I do prefer the hit scan weapons over the flying projectile beam weapons. I don't really like the trying to lead targets with the Thompson. And even though, you know, taking away cloak is pretty awesome off spies, it really screws up dead ringers. You know, if they come in to sap your stuff and just get shot and dead ringer out of there and you shoot them with the Thompson, their dead ringer doesn't even activate because they don't have that cloak anymore. So I'm shooting the same soldier on the point as I was last time there, and lucky for me, he missed his shot and I didn't miss mine. That's about the core of FPS, you know, in a nutshell. You hit them, they miss you, that's the goal. To pare it down to its absolute core essential is, you know, put bad guy in middle of screen, pull trigger. I think the heavy most personifies that, but that's really the point with every class, to one degree or another. Whether you're playing spy, whether you're playing heavy, you know, it's still the same thing. Enemy in crosshair, pull trigger. And I figured, you know, they might chase me, so I needed to get out of there pretty quickly because I don't want to get caught around corners trying to run backwards and shoot at the same time. Plus you run backwards 10% slower than you do forwards. Anytime I'm trying to escape anybody, I will try to run away from them and look away. Even if I want to look back, I try to make sure to take advantage of that 10% move speed. And there's what I'm talking about with spies. You know, he sapped that other Engi's mini-sentry, and it effectively gave him away. He's no longer just, you know, running around as a sniper, because even if your disguise isn't really fooling anyone initially, you can go under notice. Like, you know, you can get by without being spotted necessarily, but all of a sudden Engi's yelling, you know, spy, sapping my sentry, and, you know, things beeping and buzzing and, you know, making the zzz sound that a sapper makes. That's a good impression of a sapper. But, you know, I was fighting those guys there and kind of wondering what the pyro was going to do, and I figured I needed to move my sentry because it was way over on the other side and it wasn't covering the middle at all. And that's a weird glitch. Sometimes the gunslinger doesn't show up. I've just got my rubber glove hand, like I'm punching him with no weapon. But, you know, I'm not going to question it. The important thing is that he went down, and the kill icon clearly shows the gunslinger, and the fact that I'm using mini-sentries. And obvious spy is obvious, and I had full metal, so I had no way to tell if that was a fake weapon that the spy dropped. Because when you kill a dead ringer spy, he won't drop his weapon. He'll appear to have dropped his weapon, but it won't give you any metal, and that way the spy can't pick up his own weapon to restore his own cloak. You know, or at least that's my understanding of it. If I'm wrong, somebody tell me. Otherwise, I'm going to go with that as being the case. And it looks like Galactic President Superstar has managed to get onto the red team at this point in the round. I think I was giving him a hard time about it too. I was sending him messages like, hey man, you gotta get on the winning team. I just got stabbed by a spy with that cool hat that shows the moon above it. And I'd like to get an unusual hat someday. That'd be great. I don't even care what class it's for. I'll just play that class. Yeah, odds are the game would give me an unusual sniper hat, since sniper's far and away my least played and least enjoyed class. So that's probably what'll happen. If that happens, I will try to trade it. I will, because I'm not gonna become a sniper just for that. And yeah, here's that Pomson crit. One shot, 144 health to nothing, just like that. I hope that snap wasn't excessively loud over the mic. But yeah, he took me out post-haste with that Pomson shot, and I just can't finish any of these rounds alive. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it as always. Like it if you liked it, and I will catch you next time. Peace.
The price is wrong, bitch.